living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, it helps futures lose pride.
What's up, everybody? This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson, aka Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. Okay. And this is an impromptu live. And it's a live, and if you're catching a replay, just call it an impromptu replay. But it's a live that's been in my heart and in my mind all day. And I've gone from one coaching call with clients. We had a business meeting this morning with our team, our amazing growing team. Then I had some amazing conversations with one of my newest partners that I'm so excited to share the details moving forward. And then I'm looking forward to my trip to Chicago. And I'm going to share with you guys the details about my trip to Chicago because it's one of those things that came about. And what I'm going to be doing in Chicago is because it's something that I've thought about for a big part of my life. Now, the message is I'm going to share with you information about God as your health coach. And I literally did a sermon. I preached a sermon at the Dream Center. There's probably 5,000 people there years ago. And I believe I titled it God as your weight loss coach. But I'm going to share with you some insight about that talk. Now, if you want to contact me for any reason, you want to catch any of my most recent blogs, you want to schedule a consultation, there is a link provided. My link tree, just click on that and it'll give you options. You can join our free newsletter. You can become a client. You can schedule a free consultation. You can learn about how to become a coach. And there's a few other things there. You can go to the website. Okay. So let me preface everything by sharing with you the power of your thinking, your thoughts. So years ago, I had been thinking about this guy that I really wanted to meet. I had no way of meeting him, but he was in my head. And I knew that I need to meet him because it's gonna play a big role in where I want to go in the world of nutrition, fitness, and health. And his name is Jack LaLanne. So I thought about him. Long story short, next thing you know, I'm in his house with his wife, and I got to know Jack on a personal level and got to know him and become friends with him and learned a lot from him. Then there was this guy that I really, really, really wanted to meet named Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory was a comedian, very famous comedian. He was big in the civil rights movement. He also became a health advocate. And one of Tony Robbins' first jobs was selling a product that Dick Gregory had created. Well, long story short, the opportunity comes and I get to meet Dick Gregory, thankful to his daughter, who's amazing, or his niece. And I got to help present to him a Lifetime Achievement Award. And then I spent 3 days with him and became really good friends. I got to show him my methodology, my program, and man, I was on top of the world. And then, you know, for years, I would go on different TV shows. And there was one show that I wanted to go on. Actually, there was two. I wanted to go on Oprah Winfrey, which a lot of people wanted. And I wanted to go on a show hosted by Tavis Smiley. And Oprah Winfrey, I never got to be on her show. Now, I got to be on her network, but I never got to be on her show. Now, I did one day get a phone call to go on Tavis Smiley's show. And I'm telling you, I thought about this for years. And here I am on his show. Now, before we went on his show, I lost my voice. I literally lost my voice. I could not talk. So I went into the weekend going, I am not going to cancel this. There is no way. And I literally could not speak at all. And so I didn't speak all the way up until the time we got there. And I had my assistant with me, Irma. I don't know if you catch this, Irma, but Irma was with me. I'm drinking hot tea, honey. I'm doing everything I possibly can. And I get there hoping that my words come out and hoping I didn't have a coughing fit. And I got to share the work that I was doing with the Diet-Free Life methodology and helping people lose weight, improve health on the Tavis Smiley Show. And I'm forever thankful for that. Now, I'm sharing all of that, and I could continue to share things because it all began with a thought. And I believe that if you think about something long enough, it'll come to fruition. That brings us to this moment right now. Now, some of you want to lose weight. Some of you want to get healthier. Some of you are in a situation where you don't like where your life is. You want it to be different or make it better. And I believe that if you start thinking about what you want, that is a first step to whatever it is that you're thinking about that you want, it coming to fruition. And I believe that that is biblical. And I believe that is a big part of what you would learn if God was your health coach. So if God is your health coach, he would 100% encourage you to get in control of your thoughts, because what you think about, you bring about. Okay. So now, let me give you another story. Then I'll tie it all in on how you're going to make it work for you as far as God being your coach, your health coach. And then next week, because I'm going to wait until I tell you guys what I'm doing in Chicago. Because what I am doing in Chicago literally is a dream come true to me. It's one of those moments where I will be in Chicago. And now, for one main reason, but now it's trickled down to become multiple reasons. And I'm so excited because the goal is to help more people and to help people become healthier. Okay. All right. Now, if you guys have questions, feel free to shoot it my way. But I was feeling compelled to share. And that's what I'm doing. So let's just say that you're meeting with a friend. I'm having tea. Maybe you're having tea or coffee. Maybe you're drinking water. I don't know. But we're hanging out. And you're giving me a chance to share this with you. And I appreciate that. Okay. All right. So one of my coaches, so we have a certification where people become certified nutritionists, health, and weight loss coaches. And they're trained and skilled on our methodology called the Diet-Free Life methodology. And one of my coaches, I say but one of our coaches, Susie, I want to give her a big shout out. Susie is a God-fearing woman. She really likes helping people. And so she first was a client of mine. She met me on my first infomercial. She was very successful in losing a lot of weight. She learned the methodology. And I'll never forget the phone call when she called me and said, hey, I'm interested in becoming a coach. And she became a coach. And she has struggled a little bit along the way. And now she's thriving as a coach. And Susie and I share a belief and a philosophy and a desire in helping people. And she's heard my stories, right? Because I've met with the TD Jakes of the world. I met with Bishop Blake when he was the head of Kojic, Church of God in Christ. I met with Joel Osteen. I met with Joyce Myers, who has a very big following in Missouri when we were doing work back there. I have met with Dr. Frederick Price, who was one of my best experiences in my entire life. I would say him and Bishop Blake, because they both saw the need in the work that we can provide as far as bringing nutrition to the churches so you can improve the health of the congregation and then improve the health of the community. Now, outside of Dr. Price, who's no longer with us, and Bishop Blake, and there's some smaller churches, right? So I was in Indianapolis, got with a church, my cousin's church, April, God bless her. I was doing a book tour. I forgot we were doing some type of tour. I was finishing a book tour, and she talked to the church. They brought us in, gave me the opportunity to share information. Amazing. And I'm going to be reaching out to this church. I'm talking to Brian Williams and his sister. We're doing some things. They got about 27 small churches, which I'm loving. And we're getting ready to launch some willpower for things. All that being said, I have definitely had more negative experiences with churches than positive. Because in reality, and some people go, well, the church has nothing to do with getting people healthy. People come to the church to get help. And unfortunately, most churches don't give 2 cents based on actions, not their words, but based on actions on helping people. They would rather watch their members go on GLP-1 drugs, get all kind of shots. It's the saddest, worst thing ever. So I'm not the biggest believer in a lot of these churches because they just talk. They don't do. But I'm not giving up on churches because, like Dave Ramsey, I believe that if you get the right churches who actually care, then you can make real progress. But again, most churches that I keep meeting, the head of the church is not, they're not, I mean, so I'm telling you, Bishop, the Apostle Frederick Price, Bishop Blake, they totally saw it. They're big churches. They were behind me. They wanted to support me. Now, unfortunately, Apostle Price is no longer here. And because he's not here, nothing's moving forward with that church as far as how I could help. They don't have the same passion or get up. Let's really help our community. They don't. And prove me wrong. Same as Bishop Blake. He's no longer there. I know key people that work for the church. They don't care. Go there and look at all the sick people in the congregation. Look at the community hurting. People are hurting when it comes to nutrition in the biggest way. And as the Bible is so clear, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. The church ain't helping with that. Not all churches, but a hell of a lot of them. And when I meet with the so-called Christians, they're always talking about, oh yeah, God bless. Hey, let's make a difference. But they do nothing except for quote scriptures. And a lot of people who would be negative on some of the things I'm sharing, your health ain't even there. So get yourself in line, and then you can help other people over time. So we're flipped upside down, and that's only looking at health in the church. Now, if God was your coach, if God was right here guiding us, the God I know would be encouraging us to make available things that will help people. Okay. So now that brings me to the point that I want to make. Let's go back to Susie. Susie, because she's a Christian, we talk a lot about Christian-based stuff. And I watched Susie do some things inside of her church, and she helped some people, and that is great. And I said, hey, even if we do it for free, let's just help people. We'll be rewarded somewhere down the line. So then I said, hey, Susie, this is what I recommend. Find some churches, reach out to churches, because most churches, okay, I'm going to say this 2 more times. Most churches and synagogues do not have a wellness program. Do not have a wellness program. One more time. Do not have a wellness program. Now, if your church has a wellness program, let me know about it. And I will give them a highlight and I will say, hey, this church has a wellness program. Most do not. Even where I live in Ventura, California, most of the time, the churches that I know, they don't have a solid wellness program. Now, they may talk about health and well-being, but they don't have a wellness program. They are not helping people with their health. Then they're praying, and I think that's great. And they're inviting people to come and pray and, give it to God and all of that. But some of those people would actually live longer if they had the right information to help them live longer. And the church ain't doing nothing. Like nothing. And then the church wonders why less people today go to church than ever. Because they're not doing the work. And so in my mind, I keep thinking every day, man, get with a church, share with them my gift, which I've done over the years, and let's help people. It's not about making money. It's about giving people the knowledge and help them. Now, some of these churches may not be doing what I know they could do, but maybe they have a food bank. Maybe they're doing something. So it wouldn't be fair for me to say they're doing nothing. We know they're doing something because they're a place where people can go and worship. They can pray. They can not be judged. All of that is positive. Okay. But we all know that people are dying prematurely. And a lot of it has to do with their lack of knowledge. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. My people perish. Whose people? Anyway, here's my point. Susie stays the course and she reaches out. A church responds. She goes through some steps. And hey, I take my hat off to this church. So they don't just let anybody just come up in there. And then I was so happy today because the church gave Susie a chance to present her story and how she could be of service to the church and the community to over 100 people today. That makes me smile more than anything because that's actions that's speaking and not just words. Susie did not make money going to that church. She went there because she has a passion to be of service. Now, I wish Susie made money sharing her passion to be of service, but that's not the way the world works. But I do believe that God will reward her based on her commitment to wanting to help and make a difference in the lives of people. And we'll see. I believe it was going to work out to be a beautiful thing. I really do. So congratulations, Susie. This is just the beginning of many amazing positive things to come. And you're going to teach people. You know, the Latin meaning of the word doctor is teacher. So doctors are teachers, or they're supposed to be teachers. So you are Dr. Susie Lopez, in my opinion. So if God was your coach, how would you approach nutrition differently? How would you eat differently? How would you exercise? You know, God talks about the temple, not to judge you and make you feel bad, but how would you approach nutrition differently if you were going to check in with God as your coach every week? Would you be more committed? What would you do different? See, when it comes down to it, God is our health coach. But sometimes we don't hear the coach. You know the old saying that when the student is ready, yep, you know what I'm talking about, the teacher appears. We got to be ready. So get ready. Now, I love working with people, and you can reach out to me and get a free consultation. Hey, I would love to talk to you. I would love to help you. Some of you, your ego is blocking you. You know, and ego, E-G-O, edging God out. Because when you're humble and you're a true servant, you will optimize your situation. You will take advantage of knowledge. You will do the things that's really going to help you the best. Now, not everybody has the same commitment to God. I get that. Some of us are struggling. We're all human. But many of you are just edging him out completely. And your worldly ego is blocking you from being humble enough to ask for help. So, if God was your health coach, how would you approach things differently? I believe that anyone who believes in God, and even those who don't believe in God, if they're in it to help you and provide you with the best guidance, part of you having God as your coach is to utilize that person, that tool, that resource to help you get to where you want to be. That's it. There's a lot of information out there when it comes to nutrition, exercise, staying focused, blah, blah, blah. But one of the best things we can all do if we want to help people in our congregation or help people in our community is to take care of ourselves. So if you can do for you when no one but you can do for you, you're going to be successful. Guaranteed. And you're living your best. Now, next week, I'm going to wait until I'm in Chicago and tell you guys one of the primary reasons why I'm there. Because it's a dream come true for me. It's something that I've thought about for many years. And here it is that I'm going to actually experience it. Unbelievable. I mean, out of nowhere, this happens. It's not money. It's not a reward. But it is something that I've dreamed about. I don't know what you're dreaming about or what you're not dreaming about. But I'm sharing this now to encourage you to dream. You know, it's kind of like I was talking to Linda, one of my clients and one of our coaches. Linda was 249 pounds in her 60s. And about 3 years ago, at the recommendation of Dan, one of my clients, she called me. Hey, Robert, tell me about the coaching program. How does this work? I told her. She goes, okay, I want to get started. She began to be my client, right? Now, some of you guys are 245, would love to be, or you're 145, would love to be 120. Some of you are 180 and you're stuck and complaining constantly. You would love to be 145, 150. But for some reason, you're just stuck and it ain't happening. Linda gives you a head start. She's 249 pounds at 5'1" or something like that. Linda is 125 right now. Yeah. So those of you who are 145, 150 would love to be 125. You were 145, 150 complaining 3 years ago when she was 249. She gave you a head start. Now she's 125. You're still 145, 150. That's not a judgment. It's like, what is different between what she did and what you could be doing? There's a whole bunch of answers to it. Part of what can help you be successful is if you allow God to be your health coach. I'm just his assistant. And I'm going to end on this. And this is a take home, something I want to share with you guys. And if you are a believer in the God of Abraham, so that means whether you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, we all love the God of Abraham, right? Everybody's in agreement with the God of Abraham. So let's just say we all are in full agreement with the God of Abraham. Okay. And you really want to make some changes. You want to lose weight. You want to improve health. You want to be more knowledgeable in nutrition. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of reasons why we do what we do, or why we're going to do what we're going to do. If you came to me as your coach, or you work with Susie as your coach, or you work with Sandy as your coach, whoever is your coach, they are a tool that you're using because you're still being coached by God. And here's the take home. I'm working with this celebrity, and we're in Los Angeles. She has a really big event coming up, and I'm coaching her. I'm her nutritionist and her fitness trainer. And we're laughing. We're inside of her condo having a good old time. And the doorbell rings. She goes to open it, and she went from like total happiness to like, it was almost like watching color television, and then it just immediately went to black and white. She went from happy, joyful, to sad, frustrated. It was crazy. And it was her manager. So the manager comes in, and obviously there's something negative going on. Now, I got along with the manager. So we sit down, I say hello, we shake hands, and we're all sitting in the living room. And then this celebrity client of mine, she says, "Hey, excuse me, I'll be right back." So she excuses herself and leaves the room. And when she leaves the room, I'm talking to her manager, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" We have small talk. And I bet 20 minutes went by, you guys. 20 minutes. That's a long time. Plus, it was odd, right? I'm experiencing this energy. It was odd. So she comes back. Completely different energy. Completely different. She is happy. You could feel love. Like the darkness was gone. So we all sit down and we have small talk, and then he leaves. And after a while, I go, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" to my celebrity client. She goes, "Yeah." I said, "Before your manager got here, you and I were having a great conversation. We were having fun. Then it was like really weird. That energy was not good. It was like, I felt like evil. And then you left us alone for like 20 minutes. You came back, and it was like the joy was back. What went on from the time you left us and then came back? I'm curious." She goes, "Robert, I'm sorry that you had to experience that. But what happened is I went to the restroom," so her bathroom, "and she said, I prayed." And I said, "You prayed for 20 minutes? She goes, "Yeah. I did not want to leave the room until I lifted that negative energy." And then she came back and she was happy. That was my first experience of watching someone in a situation of turmoil, in a situation where things were not going well. And I could only think of so many situations where people maybe were having a domestic dispute. Maybe someone found out someone died. Maybe someone got sick. Something really bad happened, like something negative. And I watched her actions improve her situation. She went to her coach. She went to God. And she prayed. And that gave her this newfound strength, rediscovered joy that to this day, and that was 20 years ago, it still blows my mind. But I learned from that. And I've learned that whenever I'm in a situation where the clouds are over me, it's dark, it's not positive, one of the best things I could do is go to my coach. And that's what I tell my clients. I had a client yesterday. She was going through it. She was having a tough day. She texted me, "Hey, are you available? I know we're not scheduled." I said, I'm totally available. She's driving. We get on the phone. I coached her. We had a great conversation. And I helped her feel better about her situation. I am just a tool for God. So whenever I work with a client who believes in God, the God of Abraham, I know that we have a really good chance of being successful because we have the greatest resource available to us. Anyway, that's my impromptu. And as I get myself set up to say goodbye, I want to say thank you. Let me pause that. I want to say thank you for letting me share that information with you. It's not a norm. I wasn't planning to go live, but I want to say thank you for listening in. And if you're on YouTube, I would encourage you to like, subscribe. And I'll do it again. Don't have anything to sell. I just want to encourage you, no matter what you're going after, to use that great source that we all have. And it's God. To help you stay focused with your business, stay focused with your marriage, stay focused with keeping love in your heart as you talk to family members and friends. All the things that you want that would be considered a positive, you're not by yourself. You do have support. You have God as your health coach. So tap into that energy. All right. Use that. And if I can help you in any way, reach out to me, even if it's just a conversation. I would love to chat with you, answer any questions you may have, and give you the best that I got. And if I can't help you, you know me. If you know me, if you don't, trust me, I'm going to let you know that I can't help you. But maybe I can help you find someone that can. But if I can help you, I'm going to help you. And I like to win. So anyway, God bless you guys. Enjoy. Make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't, comment. I appreciate you. And I'll be back mañana, a.k.a. tomorrow. Peace out, everybody.
No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, it helps future